I'm going to cover my man Anton's part. We're doing the secondary, and I got to shout out. I got to shout out my man Ab, taking care of us. So the positives about us. Look, like we said, B minus, C plus. We had times where we were really good, and we really looked like okay, nice. But then there were times where it was just like, do we have anybody outside of the D line? You know what I mean? Like they were some team went over the top on us, But look, so we were second in passing yards against. We were tied for second in yards per attempt. We were fifth in interceptions with 16, first in 20 yards plus plays, second in passing touchdowns. Okay, sixth in sacks, 13th in passing yards against, and tied for 10th in yards per carry. That secondary played, I think, above maybe their level. We understood. So let me break down the starters. This past year, we had Kendall Fuller at corner. We also had Darby. We know Darby is now a free agent. We'll discuss how we feel about that in a minute. We had Landon Collins, who had his injury issues, and then we had Cameron Curl, who had played out of his mind. Definitely by far the top, secondary guy that we had outside of Darby. Okay, we have Jimmy Moreland at our nickel, and then we had Jeremy Reeves, Troy Apke, and DeShaver Everett at free safety. Now, like we were talking about before, DeShaver Everett, I like the guy. He's a thumper. He's not a center fielder. You know what I mean? Apke, like Ab was telling me before, like speed. He's got speed for days, but he zangles. I don't know what happens when he comes on the field. I'm sorry. I've seen you play multiple times, and I just get that Reed Dowdy, Adam Archuleta whiff, and I just can't with you, man. I cannot. You know what I mean? So, and Reeves, actually, you guys have put me on the Reeves because he's one of those guys like who's the guy you just mentioned, Kevin Pierre-Louis, where I was like, Reeves, who's that guy? He fit in. He played where he played. We also had Fabian Monroe, and like I said before, Ronald Darby. And Darby, I liked what he did. He had some bad games, but at the same time, he was consistent. He was one of our guys. He's one of the guys I think we need to bring back. He's one of the guys I think we need to put somebody into focus, just because of us, and going back to that small window, because we have that small window, let's solidify this defense. So if we're making a run in the next couple of years, we have these guys on, and we don't have to worry about who, we're missing this piece or we're missing that piece. Honestly, I liked what we did. I'm not gonna sit here and go overboard and say I loved it, because there were some games that I definitely felt like, had our secondary played up to its potential or even better, we would have still been in the games, if not winning them. You know what I mean? So that definitely hurt. As far as going into free agency, and I want to ask you guys about this, because I've talked to you about who I think we should get. First and foremost, I definitely think we should take a look at Rashad Breeland. He's a free agent. He played for us before we drafted him, and then he, just went over to KC. And hey, he come on back. I feel like he'd be somebody that would solidify another side, and we could put him in certain places where he'll be perfect for that set. McCourty out of New England. I love his pedigree. Him and his brother are studs. I honestly think McCourty is one of those guys that has played for Bill Belichick. He's played for defensive guys. He knows what he's doing. Hey, he can bring in that leadership. You know what I mean? Being on a successful team, he can help us out. Will, one of the guys that you mentioned earlier that I was talking about, a little older, Xavier Rhodes. He's a vet. He's got talent. He knows the game. And with us having a lot of younger guys, I definitely want somebody in that backfield that can kind of be like a quarterback. And then another guy, but he's going to be a little higher. I think he's like 13 mil. Is AJ Bouier. Played for Jacksonville. He played somewhere else last year. Let me look that. I can't remember. Denver, right? He played Denver last year. So I think he could come in if we put that money. And like you said, Ab, the linebackers or the O-line and the corners and the secondary are two spots that I think get really overlooked in the draft. And, everybody wants to get some free agent or this or that. Those are places that if you can have those things locked down, that could change an entire game. You know what I mean? If you have guys that can make sure that nobody goes over the top of their heads, then you don't have, like with Tom Brady with 8 seconds left before halftime against the Packers, throwing a touchdown and basically putting that game out of reach. You know what I mean? Like, these are the type of things that, we didn't necessarily have to deal with as much of that, but you need to have to prepare for that if we're talking about going deeper into the playoffs. So how do you feel? Like we said, we're C+ on how we kind of felt our secondary did. And Ab, I'm going to come to you real quick. How do you feel about our secondary? Where do you think we should go in free agency?
All right, yeah. So I got 2 pages on this, bro. We are garbage on cornerback, bro. Garbage. Yeah. We honestly, other than Fuller, you know what I'm saying? I don't have too much confidence in it. So my picks for corners are, like you just said it. Did you say Patrick Peterson? I didn't hear you say Patrick Peterson. Like, he's out there.
I didn't say him. I know he's out there, but I just didn't say. I wasn't going that high.
He's a little bit older. Those are so I'm saying the obvious real quick. Patrick Peterson, Richard Sherman, and Shaquille Griffin. Those are the obvious right there. But to me, I don't think that's the route you go. So me, I agree with you. I think we go Darby. I like Rashad Breeland. I like Troy Hill. And another first round, and I'm so Mike Hilton is out there too. I like that, but I'm gonna say another first rounder, but I don't think he had the chance to prove himself yet. Garyon Conley, I say we give him, like, he's gonna be cheap too. The Raiders picked him up and like 2-3 years ago, and he was traded to Houston and. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think we should do a flyer on him. One thing you didn't do, bro, is talk about the free safety. So free safety is something that we need to talk about too, because we can't just keep riding out with Jeremy Reeves every single time. Our free safety can't produce or they get hurt. So free safety, Justin Simmons is out there. Those are the obvious. Justin Simmons, Anthony Harris. Honestly, I've been talking about this boy for years, man. And I'm trying to tell you, it's about that time for him to come to us. Trey Boston. I'm trying to tell you, man, this boy, honestly, he gets on these contracts and then all of a sudden they release him. I don't know if he made, I don't know if it, because he produces on the field, but he may have like a locker room issue or something like that that's not brought up a lot because he can't stay on a team. So that's a little bit weary right there. You know what I'm saying? So he might have to be here for a 1-year contract like himself right now. But my go-to picks is Marcus May from, I think, Steelers. Marcus May.
Yes.
But I'm gonna take you guys. I'm gonna take you guys back, way back. I'm gonna take you guys back, way back.
Come on. Okay. This guy.
I'm gonna tell you. DJ Swearinger, bro.
Dude, come on!
I'm done. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm done, man. You know what I'm saying? My dude was too nice. Too nice.
Yes.
How you be too nice and still get released, bro? Because you disagree with the coach? That means to me, that means the coach ain't how's a nice way to say it? It's soft. Capital SOF, capital T, soft. You know what I'm saying? That dude is way soft. If you can't handle some criticism, that's right. You know what I'm saying? So bring DJ back, bro. Bring him back, man. DJ and Curl and DJ and Collins, I'm all about it, man. Bring them back, man.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I definitely like that. And what was it? What wasn't it? He got into it with the coach or something like that.
Jay Gruden, he got into it, and Jay Gruden was like, "I don't like what you said. I'm releasing you." Boy, get out of there with this soft stuff.
No, he was a monster, man. I swear, and it was the energy. It was that energy on defense, man. I remember everybody saying, I'll send this to you, Will. I remember everybody saying he almost reminded you of Sean Taylor with that energy, that where he would hit. Will, what you think, man?
I got like nothing to say, man. This. I'm not supposed to agree with Ab on everything, and he like basically had my entire notes here.
Yo, we gotta cut the show. Yo, we gotta stop agreeing. What's going on here, man?
I got nothing, man.
I thought you were going to disagree with me this whole time, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah. Yo, hey, Anton, where you at, man?
I need you where Danny Amendola. I know. I'm really free safety. They do like Jeremy Reeves, and so they want him to get some competition. But I'm with you. If we could go out and get like Marcus May, to that could really solidify being that center fielder. I think Trey Boston is a name to watch. I mean, he's been with Ron before, and I think he could. Guy I would love to get, but I don't think he's going to be available. The best of those guys, I think, is Marcus Williams out of New Orleans, but I don't think they're going to let him talk. But I love him as well. But I'm with you. They got to do something. I actually. Dude, the past couple weeks, I've been looking at DJ Swearinger Redskin jerseys. Is back on eBay. I was looking at it. I keep looking at it. It's $30. I'm like, I could do this. I could do this. I mean, I live in Columbia, South Carolina. He played at USC. So, I mean, he is loved here. So I could wear that around and people would be like, oh, hey, DJ, you know.
Right.
I'm with you on corners. I'm really concerned, too. I think Darby's going to be re-signed. I think he wants to be here because he's from DC. That's why he took that flyer last year. I think they liked him. He knows the defense. He didn't suck in it the way he did in Philadelphia, and I think he may recognize that. So I think we've got that number two, and I think we need to be looking though at we need somebody else. I went to JMU for grad school, so I love JMU Jimmy. I'll always root for him, and I'd love for him to get a but not as a starter. I don't see him, but he's depth. But they need more, and I think they need to be looking in the draft. And if somebody slides, like if J.C. Horn slides to them, or one of the other corners, slides to them. He's the son of Patrick Surtain Jr. If he slides, look at getting that using the first round pick on as Sean said. If you can get a lockdown corner, what could that do to really change the defense around? So I think they need to be looking in the draft for someone who can come in and develop play. If he's someone who he's the third or fourth corner this year, but he takes over as your number two next year. So I want to improve the course. I just don't want to spend a ton of money on it. And the names you guys said, Breeland, Darby, like I'm on board. Someone is going to get less money than Kendall Fuller, but he can be a starter.
Nice. Yeah. So, appreciate that. Definitely shout out to Anton on that, because we know you would have brought up some guy that you're like, let's give him everything. Trey Apke. Let's keep him. He's a locker room guy. I believe in him. So we look forward to you coming back, Anton, so you can bring us your bits, your pieces, man. Oh man.